Mandy, thank you so much for the time. I know you've been on this show before, but it's the first time we've had you on in a while, so appreciate the time this morning.
Yes, no, thanks for having me. It's been a minute, but all is well. So I'm happy to be on here.
Now, Mandy, it's been about a year now that you've been gone from the world of pro wrestling. So just talk about this past, 11 to 12 months for you.
It's been pretty crazy, as an understatement, like we said, but it's been amazing. I can't complain. I've had a lot of ups and downs, just like anything, but since I've been away from it, I think the fear for a lot of us in when we're in the wrestling world, it's like, what do I do after this? Am I going to be able to sustain a great lifestyle and have, financial freedom and all that? So I have to say, I've been blessed and it's been amazing. And I've had a lot of great opportunities come my way. So I'm grateful.
Mandy, you've been away for a while now. Have you gotten the itch to go back anywhere, get back in a ring, do anything within the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment?
So to be honest, I haven't really got the itch yet. I'm actually a little surprised. I thought that I would get it, as we just said, coming up on almost a year. But I really haven't. I do miss certain things. Don't get me wrong. I miss the camaraderie. I miss my friends over there. I speak to them a lot. I miss that adrenaline rush, of course. But the itch, the itch to get out there and wrestle right now, I don't have it right now. I have to be honest.
That's fine.
How's your body feeling that you haven't been wrestling
Yeah.
for a year?
My body's been feeling good. Thankfully I wasn't a crazy high flyer and I didn't do a lot of crazy moves. So I had no injuries my whole career. So I've been blessed in that aspect, but my body's been feeling good. I still train, 5, 6 days a week. I'm still like ready if I want to get right back in there, which I like to stay ready. I don't like to get off my grind. But my body's been feeling good. So that's definitely a plus.
Great to hear.
Mandy, that last time you were in the ring, you knew that it was probably going to be your last match, correct? When you last time you went in the ring. So what was going on in your mind, knowing that, oh my gosh, like this is going to be the last time I step into a WWE ring?
A lot of mixed feelings. It was a crazy day. And I just had so many mixed feelings. I was kind of making jokes about it, to be honest. I think that's my sense of humor. I get that from my dad. Like, if it's uncomfortable situation or there's just a lot of media and press going on that day, which there was, I just kind of kept making jokes with the girls, like, this is it, girls. Like, we've had fun, like, and they didn't believe me and all that. But I just had that feeling, and it was a lot of mixed emotions. I was really happy to pass the torch to Roxanne Perez, who I'm good friends with and became good friends with. So I was really excited for her and to watch her grow, and obviously all the other women that I've been working with so much. But it was really bittersweet. I mean, I think finally when that match was over, I had a standing ovation, and I think kind of the crowd felt it as well, and just with what was going on. And I really felt it in that moment. Like, I felt like this is okay. I know I belong here. I know I've put my hard work into it, but I think just along my journey of like the whole, like, putting respect on my name, and I feel like it took me a while, and it took fans a while to kind of get that feeling like I belong here. And I just feel like finally that was a moment where I was like, wow, I think I put the work in, regardless of the outcome. Right now, it's what's going on. I think it's been a hell of a run.
And that's almost the crime and the shame of it, Mandy, because we had our award show last year and you won our award for most improved wrestler. Like I feel like everybody was like that year 2022 is I feel like the world of wrestling recognized how good you were in the ring. And I think everybody, if there was gonna be any news about you, is gonna be about you moving up to the main roster. That would probably be the only change. Like it's bittersweet in a way that yes, as soon as you hit your stride, it ended. But also, I'm so glad that you had that opportunity to show everybody how really good you were in the squared circle.
Thank you. Yeah, and I do agree with that. I think if, if it panned out a certain way, different, like I just feel like that the last 2 years, I did get a good opportunity to really showcase my abilities and gain that respect. And I developed like a different kind of love for the business as well. It wasn't just like, it was reassuring to me that I was like, okay, now I'm able to kind of get the right training, I felt like, and the right reps, and just like work with so many different women, and like, my confidence was like through the roof, and I just got that opportunity, so I felt really good. So I will say, as much as I didn't plan the way that happened, the ending of all of it, but I did have an amazing time, and I'm glad that happened.
Mandy, I remember at a certain time speaking about you on this show very highly. I actually went on record to say you were making Trish Stratus-esque movement forward. I saw you improving so much. Your confidence in the ring, there was so much good going on. And then almost overnight, it stopped as if something happened. And then obviously the NXT was your resurgence. What happened in that stoppage time? Was it creative? Was it you? Was it personal? What happened in there?
It's a great question, because I sometimes try to sit and reflect about my career, and obviously the ups and downs, like we all do. But I think there was a lot of pressure from the beginning, like even Tough Enough Days, right? To Total Divas. And I got thrown into Total Divas, and I was super grateful for it. But I'm thrown in this mix of all these amazing veterans that kind of look at me like, all right, who's this bitch? Because like she didn't, do much to get here. And I just felt like there was so much pressure, and I was trying to be nice to everyone, coming from a Tough Enough reality show where I was like, the big bad wolf on that show. But I just felt like there was so much pressure. And then there was a lot of comparisons to Trish Stratus. And I was, super grateful for that. I thought that was amazing. But personally, I think there was a meeting with Vince. I remember, I will say there was a meeting, and he had told me that he loves, my character and what I'm doing and all, but just be more me. And I remember that was like the one thing. I felt like there was a part of me where I was maybe trying too hard to be that sexy character in a way. And I think I look back and I can relate and see certain times, and in the moment maybe I didn't think that, but I think there was so much pressure of like, maybe the Golden Goddess, and the Emelina character at one point. I felt like there was so much like, okay, I got to be sexy, and I felt like there was a time period where I was trying a little too hard, and I don't think it came off as natural. But that would be my only guess as far as like the time frame of when I felt like I kind of slipped off a little bit, or maybe creative didn't have something for me, or there's a million other different reasons, who knows. But I felt like that might have been a little part of it. I felt like I was trying to be sexy too much, whereas like I don't need to try. Like less is more, right? For me.
Hearing you say I was trying too hard to be sexy, just when you hear it, you're like, obviously, you're beautiful. Just your presence alone, reeks of that sex appeal. So to hear you say I was trying to be hard, it almost doesn't make sense when you hear it. If that makes sense to you.
No, it does. You're exactly right. And I think to me, I was actually really confused about it at first, because like when I had that conversation with Vince, obviously I needed to take that and listen to him. He's, the guy to listen to. I was like, okay. So then I think I was like, okay, let me not try so hard. And then I just think it was just a combination of things, but I didn't think I was trying too hard. But you know how it is. You guys have all had the experience of 1 year here, 1 year, and so many different people telling you different things that you're like, shit, let me just, and then that's what I think the NXT run for me was like, I need to be me. I need a little edge. I'm like what I normally naturally am. Like I'm a little bit of a tomboy. I grew up with three brothers. Like I need that little bit of edge. I'm not this like I don't know. It's just,
I had the same talk with Vince. I had to scale down my sex appeal when I was on TV. It was very difficult.
I could totally see that.
Mandy, do you watch NXT?
I do. And I do not, religiously every week, but I do.
Who stands out for you?
Obviously I love, what Tiffany Stratton has done since I've obviously been away from there. I think there was, some comparisons of them, her trying to them trying to make her like me, which I don't agree with. I think she's her own person. We all can be compared to people. Like I love being compared to Trish Stratus, but I am my own person as well. So I think she's an incredible athlete. I think even when I was training over there, I just couldn't imagine, the way she was progressively getting better so fast was just like, it was wild. So I definitely see that. And then I just think there's so many women right now that are rising. Like I just feel like there's like some of these girls I remember training or they just got there and now all of a sudden they're like having these amazing matches, which I'm just like, wow, like it's crazy to see, which is awesome.
It's also
You know,
awesome
man,
to get to look from the outside now, seeing it and watching them develop, as opposed to just being, you forget about those things or don't appreciate it when you're in that mix.
Oh, exactly.
yeah, Mandy, we loved the work that you did with Otis. We loved Toxic Attraction and NXT. For you, what was the most fun and the most rewarding part of your career in the WWE?
I would definitely say the last 2 years being in NXT and obviously evolving my character to crazy heights, but also helping the other women. Like I never thought that someone like me, um, when we're just pertaining to wrestling, would be able to help these younger girls that have been wrestling way longer than me on the independents and know way more, about wrestling than I do. But it was actually really nice to help them. They helped me as well, and just kind of be there for them. And I developed a really close relationship with a lot of them, and that was really cool because I don't know. I guess I had that in NXT when I was first there. Daria and Sonia and I were super close all the time, but it just felt different. I guess maybe because I already went up to Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, and then coming back, I had so much more experience and I can help the other girls and guys. So I would definitely say that was the highlight of my career.
Mandy, one of the things that you mentioned earlier that you miss is the camaraderie of the locker room and the friendships that you make and the relationships. Tell me something you don't miss about pro wrestling.
Ooh, do we have enough time? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Um, what I don't miss, well, the travel, obviously. That's kind of now I just bought a house back in New York where my family is. So I've been, spending a lot of time with my family ever since my brother passed. It's been tough, but staying close with my family is a must. So having that freedom of being able to be in two places and kind of being like a snowbird right now, which is awesome. But just having that freedom of being able to spend time with my family and do things for them. I'm helping my dad's business, kind of revamping that, his deli up here. So there's just so many things that I'm like getting so much reward from, which is nice because I feel like I don't, I want to still have my purpose, right? I feel like sometimes I do get down certain days because I'm like, oh, I was so busy wrestling, traveling the world, experiencing all these amazing things. But like since I've been away from it, I actually haven't missed a beat with any. Like I'm super like busy still. I haven't stopped. I've picked up new things, new hobbies, and the biggest one is helping my family and being closer to them because life's short. So that's been a blessing. So the traveling I definitely don't miss.
Andy, it's funny because, me being a married man, if I'm leaving the house to go to a concert, or I'm hanging out with a friend, like it's almost like the most difficult situation to pull yourself from the home to go do and make personal time. You're engaged, you have a fiance. I would have to think this life outside of wrestling makes those types of things so much easier because I can only imagine how difficult it was to maintain a relationship when you're on the road as much as you were.
Yeah, it really is. And our relationship has grown and we've gotten so much closer since I've been away from it just because we have time to do things together and, set up a new house. Whereas like, that just that lifestyle, it's tough. And he obviously, being in the NFL for many years and chasing and wrestling as well, like he finally can sit back and relax and be able to just like enjoy these little moments. And that's why we're really big on that. Like we're super routine, but like we enjoy our Friday date night. We enjoy like sitting by the fire, having a drink and just enjoying those little moments because, we all chase and we get to a point and then, it's like, well, did I enjoy it? Like I was always waiting for the next thing or I was always waiting for that title and this and it's a lot. That's why I try to tell the girls too to enjoy the moment. Like I know it sounds cliche, but I've had some of the best experiences being on the road and traveling all different countries with all the women and the guys. You know, we had a ton of fun.
I know for myself, if I miss Friday night date night, I'm in the doghouse. So
Oh yeah.
that ain't happening. Go ahead, Bully.
I just wanted to ask you, Mandy. I loved the stuff that you did with Otis. I found it so entertaining. You guys had such a chemistry, such a dynamic. Was it as much fun for you? And if you could speak for Otis also, was it as much fun for the both of you doing it as it was for us watching it?
Yes, for sure. I mean, you guys know Otis. He's just hilarious. Like half the time I didn't even know what he was saying. I was always just like, and then he's so funny and just so genuinely like just naturally like hilarious. You know, he doesn't try hard. So I had so much fun. I have to say, besides the NXT, 2 years of being in NXT, the Otis storyline was by far my favorite time as well.
Talk about the podcast with your fiance, Power Alphas. What's that about, and how can people listen?
Yeah, we started this podcast, Power Alphas, and we're just talking about pretty much everything, inspiring true stories, the ups and downs. You know, our both of our experiences in being professional athletes and whatnot, and having different guests on. So we kind of always wanted to do this. So we're pretty excited. We're new to the podcast gang, you know, so it's been a learning curve, but yeah, we're available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and obviously YouTube as well. So check it out.
So Mandy, go ahead, Tommy.
No, you go.
So Mandy, the phone rings tomorrow, and on the other end, hello, Mandy, how are you? Good to talk to you. We want you back on Monday, and you can do anything that you want. We're giving you the pencil. What are you doing?
Oh, giving me the pencil. Well, I think it's a conversation for sure. I'm not saying no, especially if they're giving me the pencil. That's a conversation for sure. Yeah.
But who would you want to, if you had the ability to go back there and write your own ticket, who would you want to work with? Who would you want to tell a story with? Somebody from your past or somebody brand new?
It's a good question. I mean, I think there's probably multiple people that I would like to work with, or if I really sat down and thought about it. But I mean, I know it's done, and we're all split up and all, but I mean, Toxic Attraction was a big thing. I mean, we can't deny that. So there has been, I've sometimes thought about it. I'm like, oh, that would be really cool. Imagine I came back and reunited them and it was Toxic Attraction on the main roster. Like that would be cool, I would say. But you never know.
Good answer.
No, I was just going to say, going from your podcast and about inspiration, for you, I know you, but I don't know you. We're from the same area, went to the same college. You made it. And I'm telling you, from someone who's a wrestler, Bully, Dave, Mark, we all talked so highly about you, and whatever doubt and things that you said or comparisons, there's now going to be people who compared to you, because listen, I used to be considered a pretty boy, and your looks are superficial. You carried an audience with your work. You carried an audience with your interviews and everything that you felt like maybe you were lacking. And then the fact that at your age, you're also like, I'm cool with everything. You're very, very blessed to realize that, because for me, it took a pandemic to realize, man, maybe I can be normal without wrestling. But we're also about giving flowers here. And Bully, Dave, myself, Mark, we did nothing but because you were so different. And now that we're realizing, hey, you were being more comfortable being you. So kudos to you to experiencing that. And I just wanted to say that to you publicly and, to your face. And if wrestling will always be here for you, if you miss it so much, then give me a call. Happy to help. Or I'm sure you can write your own ticket anywhere else, but that's not for everybody. But for you, it was. You broke a mold and really busted out on your own, which is really, really cool to see your development as a person and a character on television. I have no follow-ups. I normally just talk like this, but because I'm just listening to the interview and I've heard different things, that you've also said on interviews, because when your world gets thrust, a lot of people don't survive, or a lot of people like, what do I do next? And you've realized I can do other things. And also plug your damn parents' place. Come on now.
Yeah, that,
know,
and you know
right?
what? The wrestling was all good and everything like that, but let's get into the donuts. I want to hear more about your
Yes.
donuts. Please.
Well,
There's
first off,
donuts
thank
involved?
you.
Whoa.
Yes.
Wait, I'm like,
Yes.
what here? There's donuts
Yes.
involved.
I know.
Yes.
I'm involved with a lot of food, believe it or not. Well, first off, thank you, Tommy. I really appreciate those kind words, and I know, we've spoke way back, and we do come from the same area, so that means a lot, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, my dad's deli, Arthur Avenue Deli. That's we're moving to Mayapack. We're basically, these towns are like 5 minutes away. So we're still in Carmel right now, New York, moving 5 minutes up in Mayapack to a new store, probably starting after Thanksgiving, which is exciting. Everything's brand new, kind of revamped, a little modernized. And the donuts, Sonia Deville and myself have taken a little break on it just because our schedules were a little off, and especially when I went to NXT, we weren't able to do our YouTube videos and all that. But we had them available on Uber Eats, Demandy's Donuts. Right now, we're in this transitional phase where we're trying to figure out what we want to do next with it. Sneak peek, we might end up trying to carry them at the deli, which will be cool. So we can do some branding and promotional stuff there, which will be really cool. But yeah, we created that brand years ago just by, engaging with our fans on YouTube. And then, we always had the vision of having a brick and mortar down the road. So still in the
I got
works.
my own
hopefully.
coffee. We can do your coffee. I mean, my coffee, your donuts. I'll bring it up to your parents' place whenever you do your grand opening. Happy to.
Yes, that would be awesome. I'll let you guys know when that's happening for sure.
Hell yeah.
Dave, we got to go hit up this deli.
Listen,
Yeah, I'm telling you guys.
It's very rare I leave New Jersey, but I'll do that. I'll go into New York in order to do that. So I have no problem doing that, Mandy.
They come from all over, and I'm not just saying this because it's my dad, but like his fresh mozzarella is by far the best. Like I'm not even just saying that.
We might have to have him on.
Mozzarella.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have it catered
after dark.
We're gonna have to have it catered, Bully. Mandy, your life, especially the last couple of years, obviously all over social media, and being a celebrity like yourself, it's very hard to have a private life. So what's one thing about you that, that fans really don't know about you? Something that everything is kind of out there, but something that, your fans may not know about you.
I guess I would say I'm super humble. I mean, whether people know that or not, I may be perceived differently, and I like to wear nice things and obviously live a lavish lifestyle in a sense, but I'm very, very humble. And, when I come back home, my fiance even always says that he's like, you're such an amazing woman. He's like, you're literally like, you were on a TV show the week before, whatever it was, you're on Tamron Hall, and then the next week you're literally in your dad's deli, like in the dumpster cleaning stuff out. Like we were cleaning out the old store. There was a lot of crap. So I was like taking videos of it because I like to show people that. And I'm not trying to prove to them like, look, guys, I could do this, but it's more to show them that like, I'm just a regular girl. I grew up, with 3 older brothers. I was always playing outside with them, a little bit of a tomboy. And I'm just normal. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't say normal, but you know what I mean? I would say humble and just very down to earth. And I don't know. I think a lot of people do know that know me, but the people that don't know me that well, I would say they wouldn't know that or wouldn't think
Mandy,
that.
if wrestling would have never worked out for you and all your side business and extracurricular businesses would have panned out, what would you be doing right now? Like if you weren't working in Dad's deli, like what would you have done on your own?
Well, I did go to Iona College and get a bachelor's degree in speech language pathology. So I would have gone to get my master's, and I would have, had a nice career with that. That's a great job. There's a lot of different, places where you can work. But yeah, I always think of that. Actually, it's so funny you ask that because I'm like, wow, if I didn't take that leap of faith of like even getting into the bodybuilding world, because that was kind of the first stepping stone before wrestling. So I just feel like if I didn't take that leap of faith, and that's what I always tell people or young people, like take risk. You really never know where it's going to go. I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I had that Skype interview with Tough Enough. And like literally no idea. I mean, I'm always honest with people. I didn't grow up watching wrestling really. I obviously I watched it a little bit, but I wasn't a diehard fan, so I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. But I took that leap of faith, and then I just fell in love with the business. And I before that I fell in love with bodybuilding. So I think it's just like, just take risks. You never know where you're going to end up.
Also, you mentioned your fans. Your fans are going to have an opportunity to meet you Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, November 11th at the big event. Also, you're going to be at WrestleCade November 25th. So obviously, anyone who's listening, make sure you take advantage of those opportunities to meet you. And Mandy, how can fans get in touch with you? How can they follow you?
Yeah, I mean, social media, obviously, Mandy Sachs throughout Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that. Obviously, I get a little more intimate on my OnlyFans account. I talk to everybody, message there. Instagram, it's a little tough to talk to people. So that account, I do a lot there. And yeah, when you brought up earlier about the itch, I just want to say one thing. Like, I don't have the itch, but I will say the fans are the ones that would make me want to come back, to be honest. Like, not to say that I wouldn't want to do it for myself, but do I need to do it? Probably not. But if I would do it, it would be for the fans. And I'm not just saying that, because I've really grew a tremendous fan base from NXT those last 2 years as champion.
Well, I would like to wear my Toxic Attraction T-shirt again. So,
yes.
I think you should do that just for that sake alone. Mandy, thank you so much for the time. This has been awesome, and we hope we can do it again.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.